Okay, this one is about the nature of appreciation. And I think this is quite an important one because there are lots of misconceptions about the meaning of appreciation. And I want to share my perspective on what the true meaning of appreciation is and how to utilize it in order to amplify the parts of our lives that we want to grow. And if you think about the financial meaning of appreciation, if you've got money in your bank and it's appreciating, then your bank balance is growing. And that's the truest essence of the word appreciation. And, experiencing it as an emotion is a little bit misleading because lots of us interpret appreciation as gratitude. And the reality is that they're very different experiences and very different frequencies. In fact, when I feel into the nature of these, them as energy or emotions, then they're actually completely different. Gratitude is when you are, it's an emotion that's welling up within you and that's moving you. You're so grateful for what you're experiencing in that moment that, yes, you are appreciating it, but you're appreciating it because you're focused upon an experience you're having now. You're focused upon an experience you're having right now in this moment. In this moment, I am filled with joy. In this moment, I'm exalted. In this moment, I'm thriving. In this moment, I'm fulfilled. In this moment, I'm feeling nurtured. In this moment, whatever the emotion is, that's what that's what you're grateful for. But the appreciation is a byproduct of focusing your attention on what you're experiencing now. And that is the essence of appreciation. And what's important about understanding this and kind of separating it out from gratitude is that you can bring this focus, you can bring your attention to aspects of your now moment experience in order to amplify them. And and this is why I rub a few people up the wrong way when I talk about affirmations, because an affirmation is kind of pointless if you're not focusing on the truth of a current experience. And so what that means is that with appreciation, like let's use the metaphor of having money in your bank account. When it appreciates, it doesn't appreciate, and you're not appreciating what it's going to become. It's in there and it is what it is. Let's say it's $100. There's $100 in my bank account now. When it appreciates, it grows from where it is now. You see, you're not, it doesn't become $1 million next week. It's in a state of being present now and appreciating, becoming more. But you're in the present moment. And this kind of leads me into the other topic I want to kind of splice into this one is the nature of time. And I will do a podcast on the nature of time, but I want to touch on it here. Time is a construct. It's not based on the truth of now, because the only truth is the present moment, is now. The past and the future actually don't exist. The only thing that exists is right now. And when you become really adept at going within yourself and you're able to explore within yourself to discover parts of the universe and how it's made, and you begin to trust your visions, and you're able to work with them, to ask yourself questions that then unfold within your inner vision. You can start to discover the truth of the nature of these things. And so what happened was, in the beginning of existence, there was just a now moment. There was just the unfoldment of existence becoming more and more. But in the very beginning, before the concept of time had been conceived, everything existed in the now moment. So if you can imagine yourself being that, being existence itself, and being the conscious, holding the consciousness of being one thing unfolding before the existence of time, how it was experienced was you receive a thought. That thought becomes a vision, and you interpret that vision to decipher a meaning, and the interpretation of it is what materializes it into form. And so, but what you experience is you experience yourself becoming that. But the thing, the crucial aspect of this is that it happens in the moment, and it happens instantaneously, and it happens in a perfect way. So you receive the thought, you see the vision, you interpret its meaning, and you become that. And you experience yourself becoming that. And it's perfect. It's exactly matched with your vision. And of course, the joy of creating in this way is profound in the beginning. But what happens ultimately is stagnation. And when I went into this experience myself, I became aware of inspiration beginning to peter out. Less and less thoughts were coming in, so less and less visions were coming in. And I became totally uninspired, to the point where I was receiving thoughts, but I didn't have the energy or the will or the desire to give them my unconditional presence, or to give them my focus so that they would become more and materialize. It just wasn't fulfilling, because there was just the sensation of that I am just pure perfection. I am perfection itself. Everything I can envisage, I can create. And I became stagnated to the point of the sensation in my body of almost like, it wasn't an actual body, but I was contained in some way. And just the sensation, this experience of becoming petrified, in terms of becoming constricted. I didn't want to move. I could barely move. Started to become catatonic and non-responsive, and eventually I was completely petrified and unable to expand. And in that state, there's no choice but to go inward, and so I went inward, and I gave myself the unconditional presence and the focus and my own attention to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within myself, to understand myself. It's to such a level where I could conceive of something I could create that would enable me to be inspired to create eternally, relentlessly, and feel fulfilled from each creation, becoming more and more of what I had the potential to become, and actually enjoying it and wanting it to go on eternally. And that process was a process of being in a catatonic state, going inward and to understand my entire nature. And what I discovered and what I conceived of was the concept of time, creating an anomaly that would cause me to project what I wanted to create into the future, so that I would never truly experience total perfection and total fulfillment, but I would always experience coming close to it, coming very, very close to it, and experiencing as close to fulfillment as possible. And if you go into the algorithms of the nature of the universe and how it unfolds, and you begin to see, actually I won't go into that too much, but you begin to see that they are slightly imperfect. And you'll see the theme of, 0.666 recurring, or 666. And, we talk about these being, 666 representing the devil or Lucifer or whatever it may be. But 666 basically represents eternity, in that it never reconciles to perfection. And this is the nature of time. So this is the concept that was conceived, and it was a deliberate, it was the sensation of knowing that it was a prison of my own making that would just evoke within me the desire to perpetually create for eternally. But inherent in that was the knowing that I was in a perfect state. I was perfect exactly as I was, creating in the moment. But I was also creating the illusion of being imperfect. So the state of awareness was of being, I am perfection. And I am contained within a reality that is imperfect. And so I'm always trying to realize my perfected state within a reality that is deliberately imperfect. And so that perfection can never be reflected back to me. And it sounds brutal. It sounds oppressive. And, it is in so many ways when you think about it. And just to bring some context back to, appreciation, just so we can link it up. When you look at this setup in context of being unaware of your own nature, then you really just experience, a sensation of being imprisoned and continually poked and prodded by the universe to transform and change yourself. That's basically how it feels. You're constantly prodded and poked by the universe to become more self-aware, to understand yourself deeper. It's like the walls keep coming in, and everything about your experience is unearthing deeper and deeper emotions, deeper and deeper levels of self-awareness. And it's really just to get us to this point where we become aware that our essence is pure. It's absolute purity and perfection. But that purity and that perfection is contained within a container, you could call it the universe, that is imperfect. And so you have our pure nature eternally trying to realize its highest potential, which is perfection, within a reality that is imperfect. And it is time that has enabled that. I won't go into the deep esoteric nature of that, but or the mathematics or anything like that, but just know that it's been deliberately set up this way and that this is the reason why. So how does this relate to appreciation? So appreciation, when you utilize it and you wield it in the context of knowing that you are perfect, you are pure, you are absolutely pure, you are completely perfect, but that you are being contained within a universe that is imperfect, and that the reason it's imperfect is because of the nature of time. And how that works is when we create, when we get a vision, so let's say we get a thought, we give that thought our unconditional presence, it evolves into a vision. We give that vision our unconditional presence, and we seek to understand the nature of that vision and interpret it until we feel inspiration or a desire or our nature arises and we want to move forward. We want to do something or move towards that or create something. What we do is we project the realization of that creation into the future, which doesn't exist. We project it into the future and we place a condition upon it called then. If you're from another country, you won't understand what I'm saying when I say then, because it sounds like than, or because I've got a Kiwi accent. THEN, then. And what the word then does is it projects our creations into the future and places a condition upon the realization of that creation. Very, very clever, in fact, ingenious. And it works a treat. It perpetually enables us to strive for a higher and higher potential. And when you think about what then actually means, the essence of the word then means at a future date, at a future time. Now, as a human being, what do we do when we create something? Let's use a metaphor of building a house. You receive a thought, I want to build a new house. You give that thought your unconditional presence, it evolves into a vision. You can start to see the outline of a house. You give that vision your unconditional presence. You go deeper within yourself to see what other desires there are. Oh, I want it to have 3 bedrooms, place where the kids can go. Oh, I want a place for guests. The vision unfolds. You continue to give it your unconditional presence. This is what appreciation is. It's your unconditional presence in the moment. And you eventually... You've given your vision enough unconditional presence or appreciation to the point where you've got absolute clarity over your vision. You can see the outline of the house. You can see how many rooms it has. You can see how big the yard is. You can see it's got a pool. It's got a tennis court. You can see how many doors the garage is. You can see the color of the wallpaper. You know how high the pile is for the carpet. You can see that how big the kitchen is. You haven't done anything, but you've given your vision unconditional presence. And so you now have clarity of your vision. You've appreciated that first thought that you received, and now it has become a powerful and profound vision that has immense power behind it. All that it was done in the moment. It was all done in the now. And that's really how we create. But when we want to bring it into... So that's all happening in the 4th and 5th dimension. I won't go into that as well, but the 5th dimension is devoid of time. And therefore devoid of space. And so everything has been created in the now. There's no obstacles, there's no barriers, there's no then. You're just envisaging a house and you're seeing it in its ideal form without having to say then. First I'll envisage the garden, then I'll envisage the carpet, then I'll envisage the swimming pool. You're just envisaging it all in the present moment. Now I am seeing this. Now I'm seeing that. Now I'm seeing a swimming pool. Now I'm seeing a 3-car garage. It has this in it. It has that in it. You don't use the word then. It's all is now. Is now. So let's say you've got a fully mature creation that's had your unconditional presence. You have total clarity over it. When you want to bring it into the third dimension where time does exist, all of a sudden you have to use the word then. And so using appreciation again, I won't go into appreciation again now. I'll just walk you through what might happen. First, I'll find an architect. I'll share my vision with that architect. Then I will contact a builder. Then I will make a list. Then I'll try and find a plumber. Once I've found a plumber, it means I can then talk to an electrician. Once I've spoken to an electrician, it means I can then find the place that's going to build the pool. You're placing all of these conditions upon future events. Once I have this, then I can that. Once I have this, then I can that. And that's the nature of this universe, in that it is a symbiotic relationship between now and then. Now I can do this, then I can do that. Now I can do this, then I can do that. So hopefully that all makes sense. So what I want to explain now is, what is the ideal way? Because the third dimension, fourth and fifth, they all exist within each other. They're not places that you go to. They're all just levels of vibration that are oscillating at different frequencies, and so we can perceive they're all here at the same time, and so we can perceive different aspects of them by tuning into them. But so what does that mean, knowing that, okay, I am perfect, I can create without time, but I'm also bound by time because I'm third dimensional and I exist in a dimension that has space and time, and I exist in a dimension that doesn't contain space and time. So how do I work with that? Well, the key is to appreciate now. If you appreciate then, being the future, appreciation meaning what you're giving your attention to, what you're giving your focus to, what are you giving your presence to? Are you giving your presence to the future, or are you giving your presence to the now? And that's the key that unlocks all of it. It's the key that unlocks the whole thing. Because all that is true, all that really exists is now. And so if you want to, rather than creating in a conditional way of once this, then that, once this, then that, then you can just say, I am. I am. And so I'll give you an example of one I'm focusing on at the moment. Because I've deliberately and purposefully been focusing all of my attention on building, a few projects I'm involved with. One of them is called Powerhouse. and everything that comes with that. I won't go into that now, but I chose to place my presence and give my focus to these projects. At the moment, I'm giving my focus to freeing myself up from working within these projects, and which means I can focus on a whole bunch of other things, which I now want to do. One of those things is my physical well-being. A bit more specifically is I want to play tennis. I've had a lot of challenges with my physical body that have led me to, really profound and deep revelations over the last 10 years, including this one. And I now want to apply what I've learned to my body so that I can play tennis and compete at a high level and all these things. And so what this means now is that, so using the example of tennis, the vision is, and the intention is, I want to play tennis multiple times a week for fun and for competition. And I want to compete at the highest level possible and continually, improve all the time, perpetually. It's the same as that. It's no coincidence that drive to become more and better and improve, and it's inherent in all of us. So the typical way would be, okay, so first I'm going to, improve my cardiovascular health. Then I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this weight at this reps on this machine today. When I go back in tomorrow, I'm going to do this exercise with this amount of reps on this machine. When I go back in the next day, and I'm going to constantly build this. And you're always going, once I can lift this much, then I can lift that much. Once I'm this flexible, then I can become that much more flexible. And so rather than that conditional way of creating, once you truly understand at the deepest level that you are the perfected being, and you are being contained within an imperfect reality, you can still express your perfection, you see. And so what you do is you say, okay, you know that you want to have superhuman levels of fitness and flexibility and focus and all that kind of stuff. But you only give your attention to the now. And so let's say you want to be able to run 20 miles. You want to be able to run 20 miles at 3/4 pace, not a sprint, but 3/4 pace. You don't focus on reaching. Oh, that's my alarm. My dinner's ready soon. Rather than focusing on reaching 20 miles, what you do is you just bring your awareness to the present moment, to the now moment. And what you do is you run. And let's say you can run 10 miles now. You know you can run 10 miles. You run 9 miles. And you say, I am running. I am running. And you can say, I'm running 9 miles. That's it. The next day, you go for a run. You run for however long. I am running for 9 miles. Next day, I am running. I am running. And you notice that 9 miles is just a doddle. And you can feel you can go another 5. So you go another 2. I am running 2 miles. 11 miles. And it's always I am. I am. I am. And it's the focus on what you are now that appreciates it. Like the money in the bank. It appreciates, it becomes more. I'm focused on what I am now. I'm running 9 miles. today. I'm running 9 miles today. I'm running 9 miles now. It appreciates. This is the nature of this universe. This is how it works. Your attention is how you wield, how you bring light into the darkness. And that light contains energy. So what you focus on, it literally is amplified. It appreciates. So rather than pushing yourself beyond your current limits and experiencing the pain and the torture of, going to failure, you actually don't have to do that at all, because the universe is just going to appreciate what you focus on. So what you'll do is you'll just express the I am of what you're doing. You're consciously deciding to focus on running on that you are running every day. And then every day, one day you'll go to express I am running, and you'll just say I am running 20 miles. And you've manifested the reality within which you wanted to be able to run 20 miles. You've manifested that reality from the state of being I am. I am running 9 miles. I'm running 11 miles. I'm running 12 miles. You're never striving to become more. You're just aware of the desire, and you're appreciating what you are now. I am running 12 miles now. I am running 15 miles now. Whatever it is. And you never force yourself to go beyond what you're capable of now. And you actually never allow yourself to get even close to it, because it's the purity of the experience that's key. If you can experience running 9 miles now, and it's an absolute breeze, it's like the easiest thing ever. There's not even a hint that you're at your limit. This is how it will be created. This is how it will unfold. And so that moment when you go for a run and you're running 20 miles, then when you say I am running 20 miles, now you'll realize that you're not even aware of what your limit is, but you know that you're running 20 miles. You've become that, because you actually are that. You are the perfection of that creation, and you've created it without condition. And so the universe can follow its own nature in terms of the unfoldment and the realization of that truth. I am someone that can run 20 miles like it's nothing. You're actually realizing that you are that. You're not actually, you're not creating it. You're just becoming it. And because you've got no conditions, once I this, then I that, once I this, then I that. If I go to failure, it means that my muscles will rebuild. Once my muscles are rebuilt, it means that without all of those conditions that you traditionally have, you're just focusing, you're just giving your attention to what you are now, understanding what the intention is, understanding that, knowing that you're realizing a vision, but you're allowing the universe to follow its nature in terms of that unfoldment. And what that means is that the universe understands what the full capability and capacity of your body is. The universe knows that, what your body is capable of becoming, and it will happen much faster than you ever expected. Much, much, much faster. And you never ever have to go to failure. When you're trying to push yourself to go to failure, it's because you've got a whole bunch of beliefs that have conditions underneath them. If I go to failure, it means my muscles will grow back stronger. But all of your cells has a direct connection to its own inner compass, to its own mechanism for interpreting its environment. And that intelligence is far better equipped to determine how fast or strong it can become than you are. So give the job to the body, give the job to the cells in the body, and let it engage with its own intelligence. Because your appreciation of the now moment of what you're experiencing is what will amplify all of that. And you will realize your highest potential in that energy. That not based on any conditions that you're putting in place. So that's it. The nature of appreciation is to focus on what you are, the purity of an experience of what you are now. That is more of what you want later. If your vision is to run 20 miles, to be able to run 20 miles a day, then you focus on that I am now running 5 miles. You just focus on the I am of the truth of who and what you are now. And you can apply it to anything. You can just trust your body. You can trust the impulses that you receive from your body. You can trust any thoughts that come to you in relation to it. Just follow them. Just follow your nature. Just trust that the universe is following its nature. And every cell in your body is following its nature in order to realize the highest potential of that vision. Okay. I'll leave it there. That's it for the nature of appreciation. Talk soon. Cheers.